Hi everyone, Apurv here for All About Apple, and I want to share some iPhone battery tips that actually work according to Apple. And so the first thing has to do with lock screen notifications. If we go into settings, tap on notifications and open any of these apps notifications, so these notifications on the lock screen will cause the display to turn on every time there is a new notification. We can change this for the apps not much relevant to us. So for example, if we go into Amazon, you will see I have notifications turned on, and every time a notification comes in, it's going to light up my display even if the phone is kept away. So you will want to turn off lock screen notifications for Amazon from here. You can turn this off altogether for specific apps if you don't care about it. Now, the next thing has to do with brightness. Now, a lot of people think that turning auto brightness off actually helps, and it's the reverse of that. Using auto brightness in conjunction with controlling it yourself is actually the best way. So go to your settings, scroll down, tap on accessibility. Under accessibility, go to display and text size, and at the bottom, make sure that auto brightness is turned on. This will help you get the best battery throughout the day, and the reason is that it will use the ambient light sensor to actually sense the light in the room and adjust the display accordingly. Now the next thing has to do with auto lock feature. Go to your settings, scroll down to display and brightness, scroll down a little bit and you will see auto lock. Now you will see that I have auto lock never, and that is because I am recording this video and I don't want my iPhone to lock. But when I normally use my phone, I have it set to 30 seconds. In this way, it dims the display and locks the iPhone to save the battery when you are away and not using it. Now, huge user of battery is location services, and so under the settings, go down to privacy. Under privacy, we have location services. Under location services, you can see each app individually. Now, to save the most of battery, you can turn this off altogether, but then this causes a problem for things like Google Maps or Apple Maps. So I recommend customizing this one by one. Also, down at the bottom, you can see system services. You can disable these except for Find My iPhone, that actually helps you erase or lock your iPhone if it gets lost or stolen. Now the next thing you might have already heard about, and that's background app refresh. Now you want to turn this off for the apps you don't use regularly. So again, go into your settings, then go to general. Under general, you will see background app refresh. I have turned this off now to save the most amount of battery, and you can change it to use while using Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi and cellular data both. Now you will save the most when it is turned off altogether, but you can always turn it on for some specific apps you use the most. Now speaking of apps you use the most, don't close the apps regularly. In fact, closing the apps regularly is really going to affect your battery because it will have to reload that app every single time. Instead, Apple manages this and suspends that application just how it is. So what it will do is actually suspend the application, and when you go back into it, it's using it again. So if I close music every time, it has to reload every time. But if I go back into it, then you can see that it is already in suspended state and it just unsuspends it and I am back. So it's going to save a little bit of battery throughout the day. Now another feature you would consider turning off has to do with App Store. So if we go into settings, scroll down to App Store, click on App Store, you will see automatic downloads on the top. Now it will update automatically if you have turned this on. So what it means is if you have this feature turned on and you have a bunch of apps in your iPhone waiting to be updated, it will automatically update in the background, which will not only use data but also power. So I recommend updating apps manually whenever you need it. Now the next thing is, when you are in an area of low cell signal or low cell coverage, you will probably want to turn off your phone signal, and the reason is that further you get away from a cell tower, the more power your phone has to actually ramp up to push the signal from your phone to that cell tower so that it can communicate. If there is no cell tower nearby, it will keep looking for it until it finds one. So when you are in a remote place, turn off your cell phone signal or put it in an airplane mode altogether. Also, it's always better to use a Wi-Fi connection over a LTE or 5G connection because Wi-Fi consumes less power. Now, there are a few non-Apple suggestions that I have seen on websites and some people claim that it actually works. And the first one is widgets. Now, widgets in general shouldn't use much power, but the way widgets are designed is actually to fetch the data you are viewing every so often, which in return consumes some amount of battery. Now, this is up to the developer of the application who made the widget to determine how often to refresh their data. This is why early on many people seeing delays in the data from say weather app or the clock application. So if you are concerned about power consumption, it is recommended to use less widgets. Now, there is a great new feature called sound recognition in the accessibility, but it seems to use a lot of power. So if we go into settings, scroll down to accessibility, scroll down a little bit, you will see sound recognition. What sound recognition does is it looks for a sound and then notifies you when it hears that sound. That means that the microphone is always listening for a sound, so it will use little amount of extra power. It won't affect much as the chipset inside the phone is designed to do that already with Siri, for example. But it will use additional power, and I did notice some battery drain when I turned it on regularly. Now, another thing is that the phone is always sensing motion, and when you move your phone, it can move the background wallpaper, for example, with a motion effect. Well, you can turn this off to save some battery. So go into your settings, scroll down to accessibility, then tap on motion. Now, if you turn on reduced motion, it will reduce some of these effects. Not only the motion, but it also affects opening apps without animating, which reduces the load on the GPU or the graphics processing unit. Now, one of the best things with iPhone is its haptic feedback, but many times the little motor inside can use little power, and that additional power may drain your battery when we need to preserve it over time. So if you want to turn this off, go to your settings, go to sound and haptics, turn off vibrate on ring and vibrate on silent. Also at the bottom, turn off the system haptics to turn off haptic feedback for system interactions. I want to make one thing clear that the power consumption is little, so if you want to use this feature, you can skip this tip. Now, next comes the low power mode. Low power mode was designed by Apple to get you through that little extra time that you need to get back to a charger. When Apple introduced this feature, they said to use it at 20% so that you can get back to a charger and use your phone. So if you are low on battery and away from a charger, or say if you do not have time to charge, then turn on low power mode. Otherwise, I wouldn't turn it on because it reduces features like email fetching, background app refresh, automatic app downloads, and also turns off some visual effects. If you go to the battery, you can turn on low power mode from here. It also changes auto lock to 30 seconds and pauses iCloud photo syncing. In the past, people have claimed that low power mode slows down the processor to save battery. So what it means is when you try to load an application, it may take longer to load. So it is kind of counterproductive if you are trying to use it for apps, but if you are trying to save battery and get through the end of the day until you get to a place where your charger is, well, then I would recommend using it. So hopefully these tips helped you get the most out of your iOS device. I wouldn't recommend turning off everything unless and until you really need to get the best of your battery life. I personally prefer some of these features myself, so that's why I tweak it and customize it to exactly that what works for me. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Apurv. I'll see you next time.